Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's discuss the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 13. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Okay, so the opening scene of this episode is Karen packing because she's getting ready for this trip that they're having. They're going to celebrate Ashley's birthday in Mexico. Apparently, Ashley announced this during Karen's live show. I didn't expect that they were going to go to the trip so fast because usually they take, some time planning and whatever, but they are going to this trip now. So Karen is getting ready to do that. Now she realizes that a lot of people are mad with each other. Candace is mad at Gizelle. Wendy has a bunch of beef with everybody, so they're hoping that perhaps this trip can help bury some things. They can maybe move on. I was just thinking, oh please Karen, that's not going to happen. But Ashley, Karen, and Wendy are gonna go together. They're gonna arrive in Mexico first just to plan some things before everybody else gets there. It was originally just gonna be Karen and Ashley, but because Karen knows that Wendy has a lot of issues with a lot of people, she would just rather take her with them. Then we get a scene with Gizelle, and she's calling Robyn because she actually got a biopsy, and apparently she's been having some health issues, and she has to get some fibroids removed and even her uterus. It was one of those rare moments where we actually see a little bit of Gizelle's life, because we all know that Gizelle doesn't really have a storyline. She doesn't really show us much of her life. So those few minutes, it was actually really interesting because it kind of humanized her in a little bit, because it was interesting to kind of see, she's going through something that's pretty serious. But, it didn't take much for her to go back to her shady self. So she starts talking mess about Karen's show, that it didn't make any sense. And, Robyn is agreeing with everything. And then Gizelle points out that she wants to get to the bottom of what is the issue with Charrisse and Karen. Why aren't they friends? What's the issue? What's the problem? She says that she's nosy. At least she admits it, but she says that she apparently also kind of misses when all three of them used to be friends. So she wants to know what is going on. And Karen, even though she's not getting along with Charrisse, she's saying that, she can be cordial, she can behave because she can do it. So she's not going to act out of character if nobody pushes her. Then we see a scene where Robyn is with her family. She's with her husband, she's with her 2 kids, and they're talking about wedding planning, that they're getting ready to do it. It was kind of funny because one of her sons even said, wow, you guys have been engaged for so much time. I didn't even think y'all would get married. But apparently they're going forward with this. Robyn mentioned that it's going to be a super small ceremony, that she's not even going to invite her parents, which I think that's a little bit weird. And then they had a guy come over who was giving them some ideas for the suits they would wear, and he took measurements and stuff like that. But again, it was really surprising to see that there was some sort of progress for this alleged wedding. The next we have Mia. We see her working on her business. She wants to open up new chiropractor businesses, and she's with Gordon. They're talking about some things regarding the kids and things like that. And then she brings up that Jacqueline is upset with her because there was some nanny dispute about not knowing where the kids were, some issue to that nature about Jacqueline's kids, and apparently that was a pretty big disagreement, so they're not really looking eye to eye. So again, Ashley, Karen, and Wendy went together to Mexico. They arrived there first than everybody else, and they were having such a good time. They were in the car with some beer. It was just good vibes, good energy, and having fun. Now that can be said the same with the other group of women, because as they were getting to Mexico and they were in the airport, all of them are gossiping over a big fight that happened on the plane between Mia and Jacqueline. Now apparently Jacqueline quoted the great Hillary Clinton and told Mia that it takes a village to raise her kids. So I'm guessing it was already this issue that they had with the kids, and they started bickering and saying, you don't know how to raise your kids, this and that. The thing is that they were both livid and they were not happy with one another. Jacqueline calls Mia controlling. Mia says that that's the reason why Jacqueline doesn't have any friends. So it's not looking any good between both of them. Also, I will say that throughout the episode, they were really foreshadowing that something was going to happen throughout the entire thing, because they kept playing like some really suspenseful music. So that was like, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing there. So Karen and Ashley are in the hotel planning things, getting gifts for all the women. The women are currently in a van. They're getting ready to get to the hotel, and they're joking around some things, but there's still a lot of bad energy between Jacqueline and Mia. They don't even want to sit together. And then Gizelle brings up something regarding Karen, to which Charrisse says, well, it's all her thing. Like, they're making it seem as if Karen is the one with the issue. Charrisse said that Karen had mentioned that she was like a dark cloud and stuff like that. So it doesn't look like they're going to get along either. But at last, everybody is finally together, and now they're officially celebrating Ashley's birthday. So they go into this room where there's a table, there's like food. I'm guessing they were having like some sort of lunch. And while they were like trying to sit together, Mia said a little comment saying that she didn't want to sit with the devil. That really triggered Jacqueline. And then they start bringing up old issues, like one of them threw a brick at one another, and then Jacqueline calls her controlling, and then again back and forth until Mia finally drops the bomb, and she quotes the great Nene Leakes and says, "Close your legs to married men." And that sends Jacqueline over the roof. She gets up abruptly, really angry, and she says that she is done with her. It escalated so quickly. Jacqueline says that she fought for Mia her entire life and that she would never sleep with her husband. Now, nobody knew how to react about this because they weren't expecting it. I think some of them thought that maybe Jacqueline would get physical because of the way she got up so quickly, but they were all just so surprised. Now, I will say Candace was being super supportive, and also Wendy. They were both being really supportive to Jacqueline. And then Candace even went over to Mia and said, go talk to her, go calm her down, take her outside. But Mia was being beyond petty. And all I was thinking was, this is not how you treat a friend that you supposedly have had for 20 years. And then I said, wow, this is the exact same thing that Lisa Rinna did to Denise. Mia's doing the exact same thing. But anyway, they say to table this because there's one more surprise. They're going to meet a shaman to cleanse them. Charrisse does not miss the opportunity to throw some shade at Karen when they're doing the cleansing, and she says, oh, something about people not being happy, but it wasn't that bad. And like I said, Candace was being really supportive of Jacqueline at all times, you know, being there with her, hugging her and whatnot. And then after that is over, they finally arrive at dinner. After the cleansing, they went and got ready. Some of them even FaceTime some people, but now it's time for the dinner. They're talking for a while, you know, making small talk about what they're drinking, about some of the divorce. But once everybody is actually there, Gizelle brings up the video that Charrisse sent on the group chat, because if you guys remember, Karen didn't invite Charrisse to her live show, so that was already some tension between that. Gizelle says that it really bothered Charrisse not to be invited, and that's why she sent the video. And then Charrisse says that it's not really true, that that's just part of it. And then Karen and Charrisse start to go back and forth, and it actually escalates pretty quickly. Karen says that she's begging to be her friend. So I think that's what really kind of upset Charrisse. And then Charrisse says that she's not begging to be her friend, but she would rather her be a woman, and say that she didn't want to be her friend. And then because they have known each other for so long, Charrisse brought up something about the fact of Karen's parents passing, and that really triggered Karen. She got up at her seat and she said what she will not do is with my mother. And before we know it, they both started to hit the table. They got up and they went at it. They had to, you know, some of the girls had to restrain them. Now, I don't know if they kind of like put all the fight together, and we'll see how it actually played out during next week, because they did it like in the last minute of the episode. So I think there was more to that fight. More things were said, but Karen was really upset that Charrisse would bring up her parents who have passed away. So it is on. Karen is not taking it no more. She's had it with Charrisse. she's been able to keep it under control, but this dinner was the breaking point. And you guys, that's all we got this episode. It was pretty interesting to see both fights, both Charrisse and Karen, and also Jacqueline and Mia, both in the same episode. It was really entertaining, and I cannot wait for next week. But I want to hear from you guys. What did you think about Mia and Jacqueline? Do you think Mia's being a bad friend? Is there any chance they could get back together? And what do you think about Karen and Charrisse? Do you think Karen finally had enough and put a stop to her? Let me know in the comments. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. We're gonna be here talking about all of our favorite reality TV shows. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.